Hello everyone, welcome to Master Stage. And today we are going to discuss various administrative tribunals, and which will help you to judicial control of administrative actions when the like administrative uh, make something, government agencies make something illegal or unfairly or incorrectly. So the court is going to check the government decisions to protect the people and keep the government working well. Okay, so the topic is judicial control of administrative action. Okay, I hope you're able to see the screen. Okay, judicial control of administrative action. Okay, if you're newly watching my channel, please do subscribe and share with the friends. Okay, see here reason why the reasons courts step into picture. Okay, when the government agencies not worked legally, okay, then the court get into the action. The courts make sure that government actions are legal and fair. So they step in to protect the people's right and uphold the rule of law. And when public officials go behind their authority or they act unfairly or um, making unreasonable choices. Okay, see here it is mentioned. The thing is that when illegality, when officials act without any proper legal power or misunderstanding the law, so this is called as ultra virus. So meaning they are going behind the powers. Then the courts steps in. When the illegality is there, then the courts into step in. Then irrationality, that means uh, decisions are made which is not reasonable or not uh, logical, and there is no sensible officials. Okay, then then the court into the picture. Okay, so this is called as Wednesbury unreasonableness. When the decisions are made are so unreasonable or illogical and that has no sense of the officials, then the courts into picture. That is called as, this is also called as a Wednesbury unreasonableness. Then procedural for impropriety, then that means not following the fair rules and regulations, basic principles of the constitution. Okay, fairness. Then for example, not giving someone's fair chance to speak. Okay, only government speaks on one side, then that is not acceptable, which is called as procedural impropriety. So this is the reason for court steps in. One is illegality, irrationality, and procedural improportionality. Okay, then key rules for the decisions. So here the natural justice means the government or official decision must follow the basic fairness. So these rules make sure that fair and the people affected can explain their side. So they have core principle how the government bodies should operate. Okay, like when they are administrative law, it says that Audi, Alteram, Partem, that means right to be heard. So you have right to explain your side before a decision is made against you. Okay, some decision is made and you have to give the public to speak what is happened exactly to them. So for example, so receiving notice that asks why certain actions should not be taken against you, why you should not be punished. So that time the person should be given the chance to speak on that particular thing. That is called as RD Alteram Partem. That means right to be heard. When you're writing the exam, try to remember this sentence: Audi, Alteram, Partem. So that means right to be heard. Then second one is Nemo, Judex in Causa Sua. That means rule against bias. Okay, that means no one should judge a case, okay, where they have personal interest. If you have the personal interest, don't judge. Okay, this ensure that decision make is impartial. Like a judge not hear the case if they have the financial stake in outcome. If okay, if the judge has uh, the chance of getting the money, if it is judged, okay, that means you should not judge that one. That is called as Nemo Judex Causa Sua. That means rule against bias. That means no one should judge a case where they have a personal interest. Okay. Then we'll discuss something more. RD Altrim Partem. Your right to be heard. So that means get notice. What is the issue? So as a public, you must get clear and timely information about the problem, charges, or what action is being considered. So you have to be informed. Chance to speak. Your turn to speak. So if affected person is there, you must have a fair chance to present your side, share evidence, and respond any claim against you. Then legal help, right to representation. You have the right to get legal assistance or use representative to help you present your case if allowed. Okay, so clear decision, reasons why. Those in charge must clearly explain why they had made their decision to everyone understand and can see it's fair. So this is a part of Adi Alteram Partem. Your right to be heard. So you're supposed to get notice, you can speak, you can take the legal help, and so why it is done, that is the thing. Then no one judge their own case. These are the rules against bias. So the rule means that decision must be made by the people who have fair and no personal interest. Okay, that means financial bias. So when you judge yourself, okay, then personal bias, having money or financial stake in the case. Then personal, there is a personal bias. Then personal bias, that means relationship. If opposite person having a connection, bad feelings or unfair opinion, that time you should not judge. Then opinion bias, that means prejudgment. So already having strong opinions or being involved in the matter before. Then organizational bias, that means example, loyalty, being too loyal to a group or department, which makes it hard to be fair. So this is the no one judge their own case, the rule against the bias. Okay, then government agencies making decisions and staying accountable. As a government administrative, okay, or sub administrative people, they should be accountable for their work when they are making decisions. So the government have the power to make decisions. uh, they must always stay within the law. They should not cross the law what is laid. This give them flexibility, but they can't act unfairly without reason. So courts step in when there is no fair law is to the people. So so the government agents must proper purpose. So the purpose, the government agents have the, you have to use their powers for the true stated purpose, not for the hidden or unrelated goals. Using power for the personal gain. Relevant consideration, make decisions only using information that is directly important and ignore anything that is not. Okay, example, being swayed away by irrelevant details. So what is the relevant things that you have to concentrate as an administrator? Then reasonableness. So decision must be logical and balanced. So the outcome fits the situation. Giving punishment that too severe. Okay, good faith. So using power honestly and fairly, so without any bad intention or personal bias, so making decision out of spite. That means the government agents should make the decision should be accountable, there should be a purposeful, there should be a relevant consideration, there should be a reasonableness, there should be a good faith. Okay, then Wednesbury principle, that means the reasonableness test. So for example, here, coming from the this particular concept coming from the uh, Wednesbury corporation case, the this rule means courts can get involved if the decision by the government agency is not so out there and no reasonable person charge would have made it. It is really hard for the courts to cancel decision using this test. Okay, so that means here, those who are making the decisions which is not reasonable, then this is called as Wednesbury corporation decision made. The government agents make the choice, grants a permit, reasonableness test. If the choice is so illogical, no one in power would make it. The court action, it's truly unreasonable, court can cancel the decision or decision annual. That means sometimes the government agents makes the irrelevant decisions, okay, which is not sensible. Okay, that time the court is going to be involved. So the very silly mistakes, merely decisions which is not relevant, which is not reasonable, then then the court intervenes, that may called as so against that particular decisions, the that particular decision will be cancelled. So this is called as Wednesbury corporation. Okay, so there is a reasonableness test. Okay, for every action there is a proper reason should be there and proper sensibleness should be there. Then proportionate test. Okay, that means let me just wait. Okay, so proportionate is modern court checks the government decisions. It looks whether public actions sense for their goal, unlike the Wedbury test. So proportion allows the court to make much closer look. It makes sure that government actions are not too much or too harsh. When the government take the decision, that should not be harsh to the people. Okay. Then that means good goal. So does the government action has a good goal or reason? So like public safety. Okay, when the decision is taken whether public safety is there or not, does it help? If any decision made by the government, is there any clear link between action that has a goal? That means if the curfew is imposed, whether it is safety purpose or for something other, there is a proportionality test. Then gentleness way, is there any gentle way to reach the goal to impact the people less, maybe just warning instead of punishing. Okay, fair balance, that means do the good things from action, so out harm to people's right, so considering the public interest. So government like any action we can test like is a good goal, whether it is help the people, whether it is gentle way to make the things instead of harsh, is there in fair balance like that. So proportionate lets the court examine the case much closer than Wedbury test, especially when the basic human rights are involved. So it's make sure that they have the safety, there should be a concern, there's a fairness for the people's thing. So this is called proportionality test. Okay. Then legitimate expectation. So this idea protects people who have the fair belief in something based on government body promises a regular way of doing the things. The government can't suddenly change its mind without a reason, the following the proper steps. Okay, government is taken like doing something good and suddenly it changed things. So that time what happens? So promise or action, government policy, government body makes a promise or acts consistently, trust and acts. So people then reasonably trust, and based on that expectation form, so license renewal. So they create the legitimate expectation, fair process needed. So the government must follow the fair process before changing the things. If anything changes government, people expects that that is going to be a good for them. Okay, this is the way legitimate expectation, legally they are going to do good. Okay, it is promise, there is a trust and act or expectation forms or fair process needed. Okay, so that's the thing. So how courts oversees government decisions. Okay, courts, see the the courts works as a protectors. So courts uses their judicial review to check the government actions. This makes the official don't act beyond their legal powers. Okay, make sure that they have to work under the law. Okay, they should not cross that particular laws. Okay, so the court makes a judicial review in order to protect the citizens. Okay, then fairness is the key. Natural justice ensure that government decisions are fair. This means that they have right to be heard, the people are right to be heard. The decisions maker must be not biased. When the decisions are made not favor of the government or the some people, but it should be fair to everyone. Natural justice. Then sensible decisions. So the court checks whether the government decisions are sensible, reasonable. Okay, whether they follow the proportionality we already discussed. Make sure that actions are not too extreme or too unfair, not just Wednesbury unreasonableness. So promise step. If the government makes a promise that creates legitimate expectations, court ensure that they should follow the steps before their changing minds. This build the trust. So the always the court checks the uh, government actions. Okay, so they checks them, they look after the people's protection, they make sure that they should have the natural justice. Then the government has to be natural, sensible decision should be taken, and promises need to be kept which is promised for them. Okay, so this is the how courts oversees governmental decision actions. Okay, this is a small presentation. Okay, of course it seemed to be a little difficult. Go through this particular video again and again. If you really like this content, please do subscribe and share with your friends and those who are preparing for the LLB examination. Okay, this is a part of administrative law, fourth unit. Thank you. All the best. Will in the next slide. Thank you.